Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The White House Pantry Murder by Elliott Roosevelt, narrated by Nelson Runger. This book is copyrighted 1986 by Elliott Roosevelt. This performance is copyrighted 1987 by Recorded Books, Incorporated. It's Christmas 1941, but the ever-present Nazi threat makes this holiday season one of the bleakest in our nation's history. In the White House, President Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor prepare not so much for Christmas, but for the arrival of England's Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, and his entourage, including Lord Beaverbrook, Lord Halifax, and Sir Alan Burton of Scotland Yard. In anticipation of Churchill's visit, security measures have been dramatically increased, with anti-aircraft guns mounted on the White House roof and soldiers on alert 24 hours a day. The December air fairly crackles with tension. Despite all these efforts, an intruder somehow gains access to a most unlikely place, the walk-in refrigerator located in the pantry. And now, the White House Pantry Murder.
Chapter 1. Later, 10 and 15 years later, Mrs. Roosevelt would find it difficult to reconstruct those weeks, much less to believe events had occurred that she could never recount except to that very small group in whom she trusted without reservation. In 12 years in the White House, she was privy to many secrets. From history, she believed, one should keep very few secrets. But some things she would never tell, even to people who thought they knew all she had to tell. Other secrets she would confide, charily, to a select few. The White House. The public has never understood this, but the White House is appreciated by its tenants, if it's appreciated at all, for the honor of living there, not for its luxury. The handsome rooms on the first floor, the ones the public sees on tours, are public rooms, showcase rooms for state occasions, otherwise a museum. Well and good. But the public, if it could see the private apartments on the second floor, might be dismayed to discover that the first family lives in a suite of awkwardly constructed rooms, furnished chiefly with what they have brought from home. Only half a dozen rooms are really private, and the family sitting room is actually a part of the west hallway. None of this counted much with Mrs. Roosevelt, or with the President for that matter. They were content with the White House. After all, as the President might have said, no one condemned them to live there. All he ever complained of was the food, and that wasn't a function of the mansion itself, but of the housekeeper Mrs. Roosevelt employed to command the kitchen. The White House...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?